What's going on out there? Hope everybody having a good Friday evening. You're tuning in to another episode of Ryder Talks, and I got a special guest here with me tonight. The wonderful, the beautiful, the enthusiastic Whitney Purnell. How you doing tonight, man?
Doing good. Doing good.
Doing good?
Excited to be here.
Okay. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get straight into it. You know what I'm saying? It's the end of the week. It's
Yeah.
Friday. We
Yeah.
done had long weeks. We done both
Yes.
had long days.
Yes.
We're getting ready for the weekend, so we ain't gonna waste that much time.
Yeah.
Um, if you would tell the people a little bit about yourself, man. Where are you from? What's your background like? What you got going on?
Originally from Macon, Georgia. Born and raised. Um, Worked in the credit union, Robbins Financial Credit Union to be exact. I worked there for 3 years. I started out as a teller. I went from a teller to an info rep, from an info rep to a loan officer. And now I am in that stage of my life where I am an entrepreneur, doing my own thing, which is good, but of course, it has its ups and downs too.
Right.
So, but if that's something that you really want to do, hey, you just got to stick with it and keep doing it.
What made you want to become an entrepreneur?
I wanted my time back,
You want your
and
time?
with me, I got tired of when I know I'm a good worker. I'm always on time. Um, I'm more than on time. I'm early, 10 to 15 minutes early. I'm early. I do my job. I don't like to be micromanaged. I don't like people telling me what to do. If you ask me to do something, I'm going to do it that first time. But I don't like when I want to do something or have something to do and I have to go ask somebody, can I have that time off? I can't stand it.
Mm,
I have to go ask, can
tell
I
me
have
about it.
time off? My baby might need to go to the doctor, or I have an appointment and I have to ask, can I have time off? Why I got to ask? You know what I'm
And then when they don't approve it, that
right.
causes more problems. You know what I'm saying?
It makes you angry, you upset, and I watched my mom and dad work so much when I was a little girl and missed out on so much time with them
Mhm.
because they had to work when I was little. And the next thing, this is coming from my dad, God rest his soul. He passed last year. But he told me a few years ago that one day he looked up, I was a little girl. The next time he looked up again, I was a grown woman. That's how much
Mm.
my dad worked. And I'm just like, I wanted my time back. I wanted freedom. I don't like no one else just really just telling me what, like, I don't have a problem with authority because you do have to have certain levels of having, you have to obey and respect authority, and I understand that. But
Mhm.
I just wanted my time. I wanted freedom. If I want to get up and go for lunch by myself or something, I had that time. If I want to go spend some time with my daughter and do something with her, I have my time to do that.
Hey, you say you used to work at Robbins Financial, correct?
Yes, sir. The
How
credit union.
was it? How was it there? Like, if you were to compare that to like other jobs, how flexible was it working for a credit union though?
It was good and it was rewarding, but that entrepreneur light really clicked for me when I was a teller. And with us being a teller, I don't even know if I'm supposed to be saying this, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, what it is. Look, we in a very safe place right here. So you know what I'm saying?
When you started off as a teller, you had to get certain referrals, and what referrals is, that's meaning when someone came into the credit union, I had to refer them for some type of product that we offered, like maybe a checking account, a savings account, a money market account, a credit card, auto loan, home equity, something like that. And I struggled with that because I feel like when you helping people, it should never be where you feel like you're selling something to people in order to help them. If you
Right.
really want to help them, you tell them whatever it is. If they want to do it, they do it. If they don't, they don't. But I don't ever want to feel like I'm selling something to someone. And I struggled with me doing my referrals. So I talked to my upper management. I told them I'm having a hiccup with this. And, she came on the teleline and she did some things and I watched her. And I took what I saw her doing and I finessed it and put my twang on it. And I kid you not, as a teller, no one ever at Robbins Financial Credit Union has did this as a teller. As a teller, I did over $500,000 in the referrals that I did, meaning
Oh
those
wow.
referrals that I did, once they got sent over to a loan officer,
Hmm.
they closed. Meaning those all of the referrals I sent over that closed, the dollar amount equaled up to over a course of time of over $500,000. Now, when I realized, when I was told that, it was
Okay.
just like in the back of my mind, I felt like if I could be sitting here working on someone else's job doing this
Hmm.
and pulling these kind of numbers, imagine what I can do on my own or do for me, myself. That was just me as a teller. That wasn't even including me as a loan officer. As a loan officer, we have to do auto loans, home equity loans. We have to do credit card loans, secured cards, certificates. That's not even including what I did as a loan officer,
That was just as a teller, just a plain out teller.
a teller. No other teller has done that. They might have somebody who did it now, but when I was there, I was the one who did it.
So you mean to
'Cause I
tell me
see,
your work ethic is just that impeccable, that top notch to where you broke history at Robbins, which Robbins, if you are familiar with anybody looking at this, Robbins is a local credit union that we have here in the Middle Georgia area.
yeah,
And it's one of the best. If you have your money in the bank, I suggest you to take it out and take it to a credit union,
for a
whether
credit
it
union.
be a Robbins, your Mid South. Robbins is a local credit union that has been around for centuries. If I'm not well, I ain't gonna say centuries, for decades.
Yeah.
Um, and they've been servicing our community. And for you to come in, lonely, single old Whitney, broke the record and did over 500,000. That's huge.
Actually, I want to say for the year of 2018, the fourth quarter, I got a plaque for Employee of the Quarter, and that was mind blowing to me because of where I started. I noticed when I was sitting here talking, telling you about that, saying that's what I did. God worked through me to do that because when I tell you how I struggled with that, and a lot of times, sometimes with us when we're working on a job or something, we're scared to say when we don't know. It's okay to
Hmm.
say when you don't know, and it's okay to talk to your upper management if you have that type of open door where you can go and talk. And I was able to, and I said, I don't know if I'm comfortable because it made me feel like I was selling. And I didn't want to feel like I was selling anything to anybody because when you sell something to somebody and it don't work out like how you said it would, who they
They
coming
hold
back to?
you. They hold
They
you
coming back
accountable.
to you.
You know what I'm saying? And
So
that's one thing I'm big on is accountability. And I don't mean to cut you off. Um, but like you say, you weren't comfortable selling something because you're not a saleswoman.
no.
You are there you signed up to be a teller.
Mhm.
And your idea of a teller, I'm pretty sure, is just like my idea or the other people. Their idea of a teller is someone who just counts, takes in and distributes money.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, they got to make sure that the money that they took in matches the system.
Mhm.
And that's it.
Yep.
Not sell a product.
Right.
So, but for somebody to do numbers like you did, how could Robbins let you go?
They didn't let me go. I left.
How could they let you walk out of their door? Like, I
They
would,
tried to keep me, of
they,
course, you
okay,
know,
okay,
because it's not like I met some awesome people there. Like the manager I had downtown, she was awesome. I always feel like I've always felt like the older that I got too from working on different jobs that your management and leadership makes a big difference on how you're gonna act and how you do your job. If you have, excuse my French, piece po management, you're gonna
okay,
do piece po work because you're not, you know what I'm saying? You're not happy.
correct,
If you have
correct.
good leadership, then I can come and talk to you about this. I'm not finna get bullied or picked on because I said I might couldn't do this or I didn't understand it this way, or can we find another way that I could do this same thing but find a different way of me doing it where I can put my twang on it. So it's just I met some awesome people, but
Gotcha.
like I say,
Okay.
I know I have it in me to do my own thing.
So
If
when
I
you set
can
out to do your own thing, what did you set out to do?
Honestly, when I said I wanted to do my own thing, I did not know. I knew it was something that I wanted to do in reference to helping people. And I thought about what it was that I did at Robbins, especially as an MSR. And I thought about it's so many people out here, especially people of color, that don't know a lot of the things when it comes to them and their finances. And I
Gotcha.
experienced that so much as a loan officer when we had to pull credit. It was just the littlest things that I told people, and they were just like, "Oh my God, I didn't know that." Da 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 da. But just being educated, not just going to get something just because, but the background to what it is that you're getting, and the interest rate, what it's gonna cost you. We got to pull your credit. You got this on your credit. Do you know why? Just understanding all those things.
So what some of the smallest things you talk about that people didn't know about, what do you mean? Like things that would impact their credit score? Or
I would have some people that came to my desk. They probably would have an okay credit score, and they didn't even know that they needed to keep the utilization down on their credit cards to 30% or lower.
Mhm.
That they were wondering why their score had gone down, and with doing like an analysis of their credit report where you over the 30% on like 2 or 3 of your cards, so they done took your score down maybe 3 or 4 points. It was
That's
so many people I met day in and day out, I promise you, that did not know that.
Yeah, because that's one of the smallest things that we don't teach each other.
We don't.
Financial literacy comes from teaching. You have
Mhm.
to learn that.
You
Um,
do.
and like you said, sadly, in our culture, people of color, we don't teach each other that.
No.
We teach each other some of the things that we think matters, but ultimately that stuff doesn't matter.
Yep.
Financial literacy matters.
It does.
Utilizing your credit matters. That's where it's at. Credit is power. We think money is power. Credit is power.
Very much so.
So, matter of fact, credit plus money is power. If you
Mhm.
got both, oh my God, there's nothing someone can tell you.
Yep.
There's no one can stop you with that. So, like you said, your calling was to get out there and do your own thing, not work up under somebody.
No.
And you say you want to help people. So, financial literacy is something that you help people with. What
I,
are, go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No,
No,
just
no, go.
saying with financial literacy, just not only with helping people, but helping me and my family too. Because like I said, I came from a family where I seen my mom and dad work all the time. They were good people. They went to work every day. They took care of their families and stuff. But it's just like it wasn't taught to them neither. Like you would know, yeah, we need to get insurance. We need to put a little in savings like that. But it wasn't really stressed like that back then, and it's not stressed like that now. And that's why it's
Mhm.
so many people. And I'm gonna say it again, and I'm not just harping on people of color, but I'm just saying it's people of color out here that when they get 18, they don't know anything about finances and knowing how much power they have at that age, and they'll go and, oh, I got all of this. I can get this card with a $3,000 limit. I can get this card, and you will sit there and just be blowing all of that and max it out, and then you mess up your credit.
Mm.
So it's like it's just something that needs to be taught, and at a young age.
So, not only is it young people who aren't, good with money or, financially smart, there are older people as well. What would
Mhm.
be one of the tips that you can give to anyone of any age? Well, we're not gonna say any age, but of like teenage to adults. What is a tip that you can give them to help them understand money better?
I always just tell people because I have had so many conversations, and I've also had a conversation with a good friend of mine, and I hear so many people say that they don't have nothing to save.
Okay.
I don't care if you saving $5, start somewhere. I'd rather start with $1 than not save anything at all. Because I look at it, how I put it into perspective is, if I can sit here and if it's something that I enjoy doing, I like doing, and I can make funds appear for that, why
Right.
can't I put them same funds in my account as a for savings? People like
That
to go
makes
out to
sense to
eat.
me.
You go out to eat all week, or you be at work eating out for breakfast, lunch, and then you come
Right.
home and you eat out. You got to think, for an average person to go out to eat, that's probably about, I would say that's roughly maybe about 15 bucks.
10 to
10 to
$15. Matter
15
of fact,
dollars.
I'm glad you brought that up because that was the start of my financial journey, like my financial betterment journey. I used to go out to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner in my early 20s. And
Mm-hmm.
I was spending $10 to $15. I try to average it off to like $10. $10 per meal is $30 a day. It's $5 in a work week. I mean, 5 days in a work week. I'm sorry. That's
Mm-hmm.
going to give you $150 a week spent on fast food. That's not counting groceries. That's not
Nope.
counting going out to eat on the weekend. That's not
Mm-hmm.
going to count recreation because we like to drink. Some people smoke. That's and when I say smoke, I'm talking about cigarettes and Black and Miles. I ain't talking about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Nothing out the way. But
Yeah.
we talk about drinking. We talk about anything recreational to add to that. You're spending $200 to $300 in a week
Yep.
on nonsense.
And people say that they don't
And
have money to put up for savings. Yes, you do. If I can go out today or tonight and spend $15 on a meal for me, why can't I put another match that and put another $15 up for myself and my savings? So in case something
man,
comes up, I have something. I don't have to be calling somebody to say, "Can I get the money?" They're gonna tell me no.
listen to me, man. We're in this era right now where we got the coronavirus, so things done kind of changed a little bit. It's a gift and a curse. And I told this to my last guest, Andreas, which I'm pretty sure you know him. We all know Andreas around here in Macon. Um, I told him it's the gift and the curse with this coronavirus because I was struggling trying to just eat out as less as possible and drink less amount of sodas as possible. And it's to the point now I only eat out like once a week.
Yeah.
That's it. I might eat out twice a week on a very bad week. Like last week I did twice. This week we're here at Friday. I've only eaten out once, and that was today, which I feel bad about that. Um, but I noticed I'm stacking money a lot easier.
Yeah.
Um, I don't have to worry. I don't check my account that much. I used to wake up every day and check my Robin's account every
Mm-hmm.
day, and I would be worried about, okay, I might not have this amount of money, but you know what I'm saying?
You know what you're saying that though, and I seen it so much in the credit union. I would hear people saying the exact same thing that you're saying. They check their account thoroughly. But if you see that you got $6 in there, you'll think about you need to go and get you something to eat with this last $6 that you got. I'm like,
instead of leaving that $6 or turning around and putting that $6 towards something that would benefit you.
because
Um,
it's just so many, like I say, it's so many people I have met, they just feel like they just have to start out very high in order to get their savings up high. That's not true. You can start out small and see a tremendous change in 2-3 months. If you cut certain things out, like you say, cutting out to eat. If you go out 3 days a week, cut that down, or 3 times a day, cut it down to maybe one or maybe two. Or, just cut it down, like I say, to one. Maybe do breakfast. Pack you a lunch, cook dinner at home. You will see a
that's
big
what I started
change.
doing. That's what I started doing. I started cooking at home, and I would have that dinner that I cooked that night. The next day, I would take that for lunch. I would
Yep.
take like my fruit and stuff for breakfast. I do my smoothies. I'm pretty sure you see that. Um,
Hmm.
and I try to do that as much as possible.
Yeah.
And cause groceries don't cost that much.
No.
They can get expensive,
Hmm.
but if you're not buying nonsense, your grocery bill ain't gonna be that high.
It's not.
You know what
And
I'm
you got to
saying?
think, when you go to the grocery store, that same money that you spending at the grocery store is probably what you would have spent in one week eating out 3-4 times a day.
And still ain't gonna be satisfied.
No.
And then it's gonna tell on you because eating all that poor food, it shows in your skin, it shows in your sleeping habits, it shows with your thought process because you're eating beef, you're eating pork. That stuff
Yep.
give you negative feelings. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
I know you can attest to that.
Yeah.
So what we put in ourselves is very important, but we're gonna get back to the money thing.
Yeah.
Um, even with people who like to go out like to the clubs or go to party,
Mhm.
these clubs are a ripoff.
Yeah.
You pay $10 to get in the club. You pay $7 for a drink per drink, $4 or $5 or whatever.
It's
Then you
not
might buy
good.
Come on, man. You might drink 3 or 4, drinks at a time or
Mm-hmm.
each visit. Dude, that's $40, $50 you done spent when you could have been at home in your place. You know what I'm saying? Your house is supposed to be your safe haven.
Yep.
You pay rent there once a month or mortgage once a month. Or maybe you own that house and you just pay property taxes. Just go
But
buy a
just like the
bottle of
same
liquor.
thing you were saying about that, how the club is a ripoff. I mean, if you like to drink or whatever, that same 40, 50, $60 you just spent at the club for that one night, you could have went to just go buy you a little bottle or something at the liquor store, and you can drink off that all week.
All week.
You
All week.
know, it's just
It's just
you have to put certain things in perspective, and just it's a learning experience.
so
I've been there.
when you speak on learning, um, you strike me as someone who likes to read.
Hmm.
What is a book that you would recommend for people to read if they are having trouble financially? Just to gain a little education when it comes to financial.
I would read any book by Robert Kiyosaki.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's my guy. That's my guy.
That's the same book someone they asked me this question, or I asked this question to someone, and they said the same thing to start with Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah, that's the first financial book that I read. And in my adulthood, that was one of the main books that I read. And ladies and gentlemen, I got it pulled up on the screen. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a book by Robert Kiyosaki. And I didn't know you were going to bring up that book.
Yeah.
I was going to actually introduce that book. Like this stuff I got preloaded. So
Really?
I was going to bring up that book. But
Yeah.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a very good book. I've read it twice. And when I tell you that is a great book, that is a great book. Like,
That should definitely be the number one book that I think someone should read about finances. I was actually gonna say another book too by it's called Max Out Your Life by Ed Mylett. But it's not really more so about finances. It is, but it's kind of talking to you more about being like a top performer. But it all starts here, so it's really more so of you adjusting your mindset and how your everyday life too on how you do things.
let me ask you this. Have you read that 50 Cent got a book out called Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter? It's his last book to come out. It came out like right when the coronavirus hit, like March, April. Well,
Uh-huh.
right when we started doing like quarantine or whatever.
Okay. I have
That
not
book,
read that one.
Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter,
What's so hard?
is a very yep. And I'll pull it up or whatever. You can swipe your thing to the right and it should pull that video that up.
Okay, I
You
see
see
it.
that? Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. I got it in my Google Books or whatever.
Hmm.
And it is a great book. And it doesn't teach you just financial literacy, like you said, the other book that you mentioned. It is all around like business. And he goes through everything that he did, on his business journey. 50 Cent, we know he don't had a wild career, but
Yeah,
he goes through all the little business ventures that he went through.
yeah,
And it was just, it's a good experience. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's a great experience.
Mhm.
Hustle harder, hustle smarter.
Also,
Get it, man.
okay, I got that
Yeah.
book. Man.
Because he shows what he did with Coca-Cola. You know what I'm saying? How he sold them vitamin water or whatever.
Really?
Um, yeah, you knew that. You know he was a part of that, right?
Yeah, I knew it was a part, but
Okay,
just
okay.
how you say he's just talking about that in the book, like, ooh,
Yeah, he breaks down that whole deal, how he approached them and everything, how he went with like the record labels, how he sold himself to different record labels.
mhm,
Um, man, it's a great book to have, especially if you're an entrepreneur. And I
yeah,
tell a lot of people about that book. I tell everybody I know about that book and Rich Dad Poor Dad.
yeah.
Um, and with Rich Dad Poor Dad, that changed my outlook on a lot of things.
Mine
Man,
too. Because a
man,
lot of it starts from the mindset. Mindset.
that's what it is. It's the mindset. Um, and I grew up similar to you, where my dad worked a lot. My mom, when she was working, she worked a lot. Um, and I didn't see my dad. I saw my dad every day almost,
Yeah.
but he was always working.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see him enjoy himself a lot. Now,
Yep.
he probably did enjoy himself, but I didn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was mostly like when he woke us up, it was go, 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 business, business, business. You got to do this. And he ex-military,
Oh
so
yeah.
he did things. Yeah. So, he was
Oh,
he was very strict. One thing he did like to do, he did like to go take trips, but just on his day-to-day life, he was so business savvy, and he was about just handling business and working hard.
yeah.
Even when my dad died, my brother, um, he took over his role, and he helped raise me and my sister to a certain extent. And he
Mm-hmm.
was the same way. You know what I'm saying? He was a business owner. He worked all day, all night, every day. And it was just like, man, I don't want to be like that.
No.
Then I messed around and turned out to be like that. So, you know what I'm saying? But that was just early on. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? My mid 20s to up until like 30, I spent a lot of time working, working multiple jobs, sun up, sun down, I'm working, not sleeping, just trying to work. And it
Yeah.
was like I had tunnel vision.
Mm-hmm.
But then I started reading, I started learning and started thinking outside the box. Because where we come from, Macon, Georgia, Macon is becoming, it's kind of like in between. It's a small town, but it has big city tendencies. And we're trying to go more towards the bigger city as each year goes by.
Mm-hmm.
But we take steps back every so often. Like now, Macon is in a hard spot,
Yeah.
just like most places, because Macon is divided.
Mm-hmm.
But
Very.
most of the young black people growing up in Macon, I'm gonna say this, and this is no disrespect to Macon, Georgia, because this is home, and it's a nice home, but we can make it even better.
Right.
Um, but Macon is 75% hood and 25% wealth, I say, or nice living.
Yeah.
So where you got the east, south, and west side of Macon, if you're young and you're black growing up in those areas, 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna have that financial education that the other 25% we get. You know
Mm-mm.
what I'm saying? It was hard on me growing up. I didn't understand that if I spent my money over here, I might not have that opportunity tomorrow to get it back and do such and such with it. You know what I'm saying? Just giving a small example. Um, I didn't know that. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? My mom didn't teach me that. My dad didn't teach me that. Like I said, my brother didn't teach me that. They just taught me to go to work, pay
Mm-hmm.
bills.
Yep.
Go to work, pay bills.
Yeah.
You might have enough money to do such and such. Now I like to dress. I like to, you know what I'm saying? I like certain things. So I had to learn about the do's and don'ts of finances.
Mhm.
I learned that 30% utilization pretty young. And one of the ways that it was taught to me was 20%. So that makes it even more strict. You know what I'm saying? They don't even let you get to the 30%, which is actually 30, like you said. But my financial advisor was teaching me now, try to stay at that 20%.
Yeah. That's even better.
Um, yeah, man,
That's
it
that's
is. It
teaching you
is.
discipline.
It is. It is. Um, so you left Robbins how long ago?
Actually, February of this year, 2020.
So you are what, 5 months in? Oh
Mm-hmm.
no, 7 months in on being,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
7 months in on being an entrepreneur. Where are
just
you trying to go? Have you decided what type of business that you're going to get into? I know you say you want to help people, you want to help yourself,
um
and
just more so doing something on the lines of what I was saying about what I was doing when I was in the credit union. Just basically being a financial advisor
okay,
and consulting people with doing a financial analysis of them and their savings, asking them the simple question, do you have an emergency savings or emergency fund? And God forbid something happened, do you have something to fall back on? Starting from getting the financial education that you need first and then going from there to credit. Because that's another issue too, is credit. But it doesn't benefit you or me for us to just say we want our credit straight and fixed, but we still don't know anything about finances or have any kind of financial education or know the simplest things that we need to know about stuff. We just, oh, I just want to fix my credit. Okay, but what after that? What did you learn? Did you just fix your credit for you to just go back out and do it all over again, and then in 2 more months you're gonna be back in the same same spot? Or did you
So
actually learn that you could, leverage yourself with your credit? Like you mentioned earlier, credit is powerful, and when you have money and credit,
it's even more powerful.
it's even more powerful. So
Yeah. So have you had any clients, to take up your services?
I have had two,
Okay.
and
Going
this
good
was
so far?
just from Facebook, just seeing me on there, and they reached out to me for a financial analysis, and it went from there.
I wanna use your services because I'm
Okay.
pretty sure there's more that I can learn. I'm not where I need to be, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not where I want to be, or what I'm not where I feel I should be at this stage of my life.
Me neither.
So yeah, see, it's so much more that we can learn,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And it's so much that the world has to offer to us
yeah.
that
One
we can
thing I
take
will
advantage
say
of.
too, with you saying that, is something that with me with me being an entrepreneur and me doing business, I always want to be honest and transparent. I don't ever want to be sitting here doing something and say I'm an entrepreneur and I'm just acting like I have it all together. Because how can I teach you about you and your finances if I'm jacked up over here acting like my stuff just A1? It's a learning
Mhm.
experience for me to be able to help people with them and their financial situation. It's helping me too. I'm teaching
Yep.
you, and I'm learning at the same time too, because it helps me to stay on track with what it is I'm doing with my financial journey and my financial goals.
Gotcha. Gotcha. You're preaching right now. You know what I'm saying? Um, so God-fearing woman, correct?
I am.
What do you feel like your calling in life is besides just helping people? What would you say your calling in life is? Sorry about that phone.
I'm,
I don't mean to put you on the spot. I ask you this. What do you feel like your passion in life is?
I'm a giver.
You're a giver.
I'm a giver, and I know with that even goes with sewing, and it's not saying I just feel good about doing that because I ain't trying to go all over there with that, but I am going to say this, that a lot of the things people read the Bible and interpret it different ways. I would say that. But I
Okay.
feel like when it comes to God and who He is, a lot of people have missed what his whole ministry is about and what He was about, which is love. Meaning loving thy neighbor. Who is thy neighbor? Anybody can be your neighbor, your neighbor, the person who in the car next to you on the highway, your next door neighbor, your blood family. It's all about love. And I have seen it so much in a world where people will give so much praise to people that might look like me and you, like we polished up, we look okay, compared to a person that might have on a tore up holy shirt. They might look like they might not smell the best, but you will treat them so bad because of how they look, and you don't even know what
Mhm.
that person's situation is. Instead of you
Mm.
being a help and saying, well, hey, my brother or sister, can I get you something to eat? Can I buy you a couple of outfits or something like that? Just showing love to people, because you never know what spot that person feel on hard times in their life. And it can
Mhm.
easily happen to you too. You never know.
You never know.
So just being true to the ministry, meaning show love to people, because it's hard, and that's something God had to deal with me with people, because I was so quick to cut people off. And He had to show me that you need people, regardless if you don't feel like you do. You really do
You
need
need
people.
people. Let me
Some
ask
might
you
come
this.
in your life and hurt you, but hey, you have to put that hurt to the side and say, I know you hurt me, you make me feel some kind of way, but at the end of the day, I'm still gonna love you.
Let me ask you this. You mentioned love thy neighbor. That is one of the most known scriptures in the Bible. When it says love thy neighbor, like you said, anyone can be your neighbor. So you're supposed to take care of your neighbor.
Yeah.
I use this analysis or this analogy, I'm sorry, when I talk to people a lot of times. When we're out on the road, when we first start driving, they tell you to drive. not just for yourself, but for everyone else on the road.
Yeah.
So when it comes to living, you shouldn't just live for yourself, but
Hmm.
you need to live for the other people in your life.
Yeah.
When you pray, you need to pray for yourself, your family, and even strangers that you may come in contact with, because we're all children of God.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people only think about me, 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 me. What am I going to get out of this? What am I going to, you know what I'm saying? It's
Hmm.
not about just you.
No, it's
There are
not.
billions of people on this earth, and
Yes.
everyone has to live day to day. Everyone has to prosper. So if
Hmm.
you come out and you do what you need to do and not judge people, not treat people like you said, just because someone might not look as good as you, or
Hmm.
somebody might not be dressed as good as you, or as well groomed as you are,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that you talk down on them. That
Mm.
doesn't mean that you treat them any kind of way. They could be going through. So a lot of these homeless people out here are veterans
Yeah.
from the military who
Yeah.
just got the bad end of the stick.
Yep.
So you never know what someone's situation is. Somebody's house could have burnt down. They could have owned a bigger house than what you have, but it burnt down and they left them with nothing. So now they're on the street. Somebody could be smoking, like doing recreational drugs, smoking weed or whatever, and somebody could have laced their weed and
Yep.
now they've lost their mind, or it's not all there and they're just out in this world, just lost.
Lost.
But somebody on a high horse is going to look down on them.
Hmm. I've seen it
So
so
it's,
many times.
yeah, especially here in Macon. Oh my
Hmm.
God, we have a lot
Yes.
of that in Macon.
Yes, we
We have a
do.
lot of that in Macon.
A
But
lot.
we need people like yourself. Yeah, we need people like yourself who understand this, who can spread it, because it can be contagious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The things that we do, I don't know if you understand this or if you feel like this. We're all connected some way or another.
Hmm.
They say humans are a certain percent of psychic. And when I say psychic, I'm not talking about like the palm readers who say, oh yeah, your brother name was Todd. No, I ain't talking about none of that. We talking about people who, if you ever notice when you think about somebody who you haven't seen in a while, they may call you, or you might see them out in passing.
Hmm.
We're connected. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, so it's just so much, man. And I could go, I can go on and on,
Me too.
but I'm gonna try to make it a little bit more shorter. What I'm trying to get to, it's our job as God's children to take care of one another.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, what we do and what we go through, our feelings are contagious. If you come around each other and you have a bad attitude, that can rub off on the next person,
Yeah.
causing them to have a bad attitude, and then so forth and so forth. But if you have a good, positive, uplifting spirit about yourself, that is going to rub off on the next person. It's going to go forth into their life, and then they're going to pass it on to somebody else and whoever else they come in contact with. So we need more people like you, man.
Yeah.
We really do. This world is in a
People like you
very,
too, man. Like we just need love, man.
like, we're in a very bad spot in this world with
Mhm.
the division that's going on, with the hatred that's going on. You know what I'm saying? Cops killing innocent black people, cops killing innocent white people, cops killing innocent children, cops locking up innocent people, innocent cops getting jumped on by people because they, you know what I'm saying? That whole one bad apple can spoil a bunch or whatever.
Yep,
And we got to change our way of thinking.
we do.
We got to
That's
change our
number
way of
one.
living.
That's
That's
number
that's
one.
that's number one.
And it's
Um,
not like you say what you were just saying though. It's hard to do that when you in a environment where there's so much negativity. When you trying to
yeah.
keep yourself positive and you have so much negative stuff going on around you, it's like at some point it's gonna rub off on you and you gonna start being negative too.
hmm hmm
That is by
And
far the hardest thing is changing this and staying positive even when that negative tries to creep up.
yeah, you're absolutely right. And then
Yeah.
when you get so old, so much older in
Hmm.
life, it's hard to change your ways, because one of the things that people fear, especially grown people, change. We fear change, whether it's good change or bad. We just fear the thought of something disrupting what we have going on.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
We scared of, a lot of us are scared of failure too, because like you say, we already know what's what when we go and fill out a job. Oh, we get a job, we're gonna get a paycheck every week, every 2 weeks. Compared to, well, nah, I don't want to be no entrepreneur. I don't know how I'm gonna get this. You have to work it.
You have to work it.
Take that risk.
But I see more and more entrepreneurs out here every day.
Me too.
Whether they are selling clothing, whether they are selling designer cups, or we got the masks now. People are designing masks and selling those. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm really excited for each and everybody that's doing
right.
something. As long as it's
Uh,
something positive. So
let
I
me
commend everyone that's doing something.
let me ask you about this How Money Works book, because you owe me a copy of that book. I don't know if you know what I'm saying.
We have one right here too. Well, I actually I always keep one. This is actually not my copy, but this is a copy of it right here. I have my copy. It's all beat up because I be reading all the time or whatever. So
Got you. Well, guess what? I got a copy that you were supposed to give to me. I don't know how you're gonna send it to me or whatever, but I'm willing to receive it. You've read that book, correct? Or have you started reading it?
I've read it.
How
Have
would you?
to read it a little bit more. Like you say, you read Robert Kiyosaki twice. Reading it more. Like when I get done with it, I'll just stop there, read it again.
How would you? Excuse me. How would you say that book helped you, or would you say that that book helped you as far as like your financial literacy?
One of the things that stood out to me the most was two things. Well, the first thing was when it gave the statistics on uh 40% of Americans don't have $400 in the bank as like a backup or emergency fund.
Okay.
And at the time when I read this book, I thought to myself that was me. Like what are you doing with your money to where you don't even have $400 that you can just, God
Go
forbid something
access.
happens, you got it.
Hmm.
And I thought that was sad for anyone to sit there and go to work each and every day. And I know a lot of people don't like going to work unless they really just enjoy and love what they're doing. 9 times out of 10, most people don't like getting up going to work because you waking up complaining in the morning that you don't want to go and you don't like the people that work there. Like, so why do you go to work and you've been working there 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, and you don't have $400 in your bank account?
Sad.
So if something happened, then what?
You stuck. You up here asking people for money, creating a GoFundMe,
Yeah.
and that's what a lot of people like. Even outside of the $400 in the bank account, a lot of us don't have insurance,
No.
life insurance. But I don't want to go off on a tangent. So that book touched on just the basic idea of having $400 in the bank account, in a savings account.
In a savings account. Not even really like a savings account, but as an emergency fund.
Okay. Okay.
What's $400? Like I know we
A
probably
lot of
don't spend that in a month. We're eating out, or I probably don't bought 2 pair of shoes, not at one time, but at some point, maybe throughout a month. I probably don't spend that buying tennis shoes.
hmm
But
we,
why don't I have that in my mind that it's important for me to have that amount in a bank account for me, just in case something comes up? I have it. It's there. I ain't have to go ask nobody for it. I ain't have to go get no loan. I ain't have to max out no credit card. I had it in my savings account.
I think one of the problems is, and that's something we touched on earlier, no one teaches us that.
They don't.
So we go by what they shown us. So if we know that our leaders went to work every day, and then if something failed, they just asked their people for money, that's what we're gonna do. And
Yep.
then once we feel like that's okay, we're just gonna keep doing it. We're not gonna have a rainy day fund. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So you never think about it until it's shown to you. So this book shows that to you.
Hmm.
You would recommend that book for someone who is on the beginning level of financial literacy?
I
Would you
would.
say this would be okay?
This book is more so where it's, I know sometimes, and for me, sometimes when I have have books. You know, sometimes it can be hard when you first start back reading or start off reading, and it's like, you know, oh, they're boring. So this book has a lot of, you know, cartoon character pictures in it. Like it's really a fun book with a lot of powerful information in it. Because another thing that I liked about this book, where it talked about the rule of 72, I didn't know nothing about the rule of 72, and I worked in a credit union. We didn't
Come on
teach
now.
that. The rule of
Come on
72
now.
is telling you that what you having your money in these accounts that you think is good, and you getting a crappy interest rate, it's gonna take your money. Your money is gonna outlive you before it even double.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's gonna take your money 600-700 years to double, compared to if you put it in a higher interest bearing account, they
Something
can
like
cut that time in half.
something like a Roth IRA, or something like even something like an investment like Robinhood or somebody like that.
Something like that. Like the rule of
Yeah.
72 is just with you dividing 72 by whatever interest rate you have on that account. And whatever that number is you get, that's the number that tell you how long it's going to take for your money to double.
And most banks do what? 2%?
If that.
1.14, something like
Probably
that.
something like that. I know some of the accounts that might have been at Robin's, they probably maybe would, depending on the dollar amount. Of course, you know, your regular savings account ain't really gonna give you that much, and what people fail to realize with that savings account, you get that quarterly, which is every 3 months. You don't get that every month. You have to have a higher bearing account to get your interest or get your dividends every month, which is
Well,
like a money market account.
one thing I can say about Robin's, at the end of the year, around Christmas time, they give you that bonus. I forgot the exact name of it, but they give like a bonus to their members.
And if you want to say it, man, I would have had it. It's gonna come to me before I get off.
Um, Come on now.
It's gonna come to me. See, I've been out the game
But
too long.
come on now, come on
Like a
now. But
rebate or
yeah, it's like a rebate. It's a members
member
member.
rebate,
Mm-hmm,
I think. But
mm-hmm.
yeah, that do be nice, because honey, I'll tell you, when I would get mine, they come in handy.
Now, what does that go based off of? Do you remember?
Just the more accounts that you had, like you could have
Okay,
had a loan account, or um you could have had just various different accounts. You could have had a mixture, like a checking, you had a savings, you had a credit card, you had a certificate, you had your car loan there, you got your home loan there. So the more products and stuff that you have with them, the more money that they'll give you.
yeah, because I noticed I had my car loan with them. I had a checkings and a savings. My rebate would be more, but once I paid that car off, I still had a good amount of money in the bank with them, but
Yeah.
my rebate wasn't as high.
It
It was
went
still a
down.
nice size, but it went down. So that might explain that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank, thank you so much.
That what it
Um,
was. It was you know, having to have more products, and not really
well,
just having like one account. Like if you had a checking, or just having a checking or a savings, like you probably would really weren't gonna get that much.
gotcha, gotcha.
Yep.
Well, look, I'm gonna wrap this up right here. Um, Introduce yourself for people. Let them know who you are. Let them know what you got going on, and we're gonna wrap this thing up.
All right, y'all. I'm Whitney Pennell. You can find me on Facebook at Whitney and Gerald Pennell. You can look up uh, my group that I have called Prevent Financial Hardships. That's us on Facebook. Triple E Networking, that's on Facebook. It has all my contact information on it. So if you need anything, want to do a consultation, please reach out to me.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay. Well, with that being said, that was another episode of Mike Ryder Talks. I had a very, very good talk with you, man. I appreciate you for coming on.
Thank you so much too,
Um,
man. You are awesome and phenomenal. And I want to say this before you go, or before we go, that God is going to do great and mighty things in your life. So keep doing what you're doing as well, and exceedingly abundantly above.
hey,
So
I
thank you
definitely
so
do that,
much.
man.
This was a pleasure.
I'm gonna keep doing that. I'm gonna take those kind words that you just gave, and I'm gonna make sure that I let those manifest. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's something I'm trying to work on is manifestation, and that's something I'm trying to teach to my people. So
Yeah.
on that note, it was another good episode, man. Y'all keep tuning in. I'm gonna keep having good guests. I'm sorry I got tongue tied,
You
but
will.
man, it's been a good one.